All right, so this is the last lesson in Unit 1, which is exciting. We're going to be talking about the midpoint formula. So there's a formula for this, but I honestly think it's easier if you just kind of change the way that your mind sees that word midpoint. So the midpoint formula, I think, is way easier if you just think of this as the average point. Think of as the average point. So what I mean by that is the word mid means middle. So if you think of middle as being average, it kind of helps you. I'll give you the formula here. So the midpoint formula, I'm going to try to write better. The longer I do these videos, the worse my penmanship gets. Midpoint formula. So the midpoint formula, it's an actual coordinate. You won't get a number out. You'll get something in xy coordinates. It's x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and that's the x part of a coordinate. It's not, it's its own thing. And then for the y part of the midpoint, it's y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Now let's take a look at this with actual set of coordinates, and hopefully that'll make sense why I think it's easier if you think of it as the average. So for my coordinates here, I'm going to do, let's say, -10, 5, and then we'll do, say, 2, -1. All right. Now you could just plug these into the formula. This would be x1, y1, x2, y2. But to better conceptualize it, like I said, you're looking for the average. So if I want to find the average of just the x's, -10 and 2, well, what's the average of that? Well, you add them together and divide by 2. -10 plus 2 is -8. -8 divided by 2 is -4, which is exactly what the formula is doing. It's just the formula has a lot of 1s and 2s in it, so it's way, way easier, I think, to just think of it as average, because by now you guys should all kind of have that idea of average hammered into your head enough. For the y part, we got 5 and -1. So 5 plus -1 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And that's it. That's the midpoint. There's really nothing more to it than that. I mean, let's go through another example here really quickly, just make sure that you guys got it. So let's say that our points here this time are going to be, let's do 7, -2, and then let's do -3, -9. So I want to find the average of the x's for my coordinate here. Remember, the midpoint isn't just a number, it's not a fraction, it's an xy coordinate. So I want to find the x coordinate of the midpoint, so I'm going to do 7 plus -3, finding the average of the x's. 7 plus -3 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. I'm going to find the average of the y's, so I'm going to do -2 plus -9. -2 plus -9 is -11. 11 divided by 2 is -5.5, and there's a bunch of different ways you could write that. You could write it as -5.5, -5.5, or even -11 halves, because that's an improper fraction, but it's reduced improper. So that's it. That's all there is to the midpoint formula. Let me know if you have questions. This is the last lesson as far as this unit goes. So after this, you guys have some review assignments, and then you'll have to take your test. So good luck. I'll see you guys back here for Unit 1.